What kind of sound are you shooting for your guitars? I mean, how do you want your guitars to sound like? Any goals and stuff?
I always want a clear speaking guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I always think, I will never shoot for volume's sake. Loud for loud's sake, I think, is not a definition of a successful guitar for me. I know that there are makers that are known for building loud guitars, cannons, and those guitars are very loud and sometimes leave me a little cold. I want there to be a wide tonal palette. I want there to be a bright sound when it's played up by the bridge. I want there to be a warm sound when you're playing over the sound hole and up by the fingerboard. I want it to be even across the strings.
Mm-hmm.
I am happy when my guitars have that and are loud too. I just don't think volume alone is the sole, should be the first level of success.
Okay.
I like all my guitars to speak clearly, to speak quickly. It's one reason why I brace my cedar top guitars differently than my spruce top guitars, is I think that it helps them speak more quickly.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you're building a cedar top guitar, are you trying to get it to speak closer to like how your spruce guitars would?
Yes, though I will never make it exactly spruce-like. That never really happens. The inherent darkness and romantic sound of cedar always sort of comes through.
Yeah.
But in the way that I brace it, it helps, in my mind at least, in my experience, to goose up the treble end a little bit, and not to keep it quite so dark and muddied and, in its worst cases, slower speaking. And that's not what I like in a cedar top guitar.
Okay.
That dark covered, goopy sound.
Okay. Amongst all the guitars you built, what is the ratio between spruce versus cedar tops?
I think ultimately it would probably come down really close to 50-50. Maybe slightly more spruce. It seems that there's, in the marketplace over the years, and I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, that it goes through phases.
Mm-hmm.
That people, when all of a sudden they're enamored with Spanish guitars, they order more cedar top guitars. All of a sudden, spruce comes back into vogue. I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure if we went through this and counted them up, that it would be pretty close to 50-50.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have any like really memorable guitars that you've built? Now, like, I mean, you built over 180?
Yeah, that.
Right around that. Now, amongst those 180, is there like a particular guitar you remember out of all the wood shavings and stuff?
There are a few guitars. There's a cutaway that I made in the last few years that not only was it a great sounding guitar, but man, it just everything fell into place. It was a beautiful guitar. Great materials, sides and back cut from the same board, color matched perfectly. One of those sets was also used for another guitar that was a straight ahead classical guitar that I knew was a great guitar. You knew was a great guitar.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it never really found a home. Someone owned it and loved it, sent me in an email that they were going to sell some of their other guitars now that they had found that. And then all of a sudden I found it for sale. And when I asked, the guy if there was something I needed to know, he apologized. No, he just got sick, and I felt bad. And it went through a series of owners, and now is in Italy, and my impression is that it's finally found a very good home.
Oh, good, good.
Those guitars, the ones that mostly stand out are the ones where the customers are happy.
Okay.
And I am lucky in that I hear from customers all the time saying, had a great session, had a great recital, and all that means a lot to me. I know in general bad news travels faster than good, and I always beg people, to, share the good with me too, and they're gracious enough to do that.
Now, there was a guitar that came through your shop a while back that was just played to the bare wood. Right? The owner just played it so much that he wore off like pretty much all the finish on that guitar.
Is that cutaway that was here?
Yeah, 7-string. Remember that one?
7-string.
7-string cutaway. And there's no lacquer left on the neck, and it was like just dings and doinks and all that.
Yes. Okay, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was one of the first 7-strings I built.
Yeah. So, how does it make you feel when you see your creations in that state?
Once I sell them, I have to cut the apron ties. I would rather see a guitar intact, structurally sound, and beat to crap. Because I know that it's being played all the time. And I remember kind of saying to this gentleman, it's like, the guitar is beat to crap. He goes, man, I don't think that there's a day that goes by that this guitar is not in my hands for 5 hours a day.
Wow.
And he's had that guitar for over 20 years, for a long, long time now. And I would rather see that than a guitar that was 20 years old looking like it just came out from underneath the bed. That always makes me very nervous when they're in perfect shape.
Yeah.
Years ago, Tommy Tedesco had one of my guitars, and that he was gracious enough to buy, my 7th guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I saw it less than 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
And it was beat to crap, had scratch marks all over the top and dings on the back of the neck, and just looked like it was 15 years old already. And I couldn't hide my shock, my astoundedness. And he saw it, and he grabbed me by the shoulders and he said, son, it's a tool. And I learned, okay, I understand, it's yours now, go ahead. And
yeah.
So
I would guess that those battle scars contribute to the sound of the instrument as well.
Well, I think any guitar sounds better when it's been played a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Guitars don't get better with age when they're not played.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, cracks, I would like to see them repaired and not ignored.
Yeah.
Raw wood should not be raw wood. That doesn't help the integrity of the guitar.
Yeah.
But by virtue of just having the living the jeebers played out of the guitar, it's going to sound better than something that's played for a couple hours a week.
Yeah.
Living the jeebers. Make sure that stays in.